and I'd like to welcome you to our Options Learning Program orientation for our returning families. Welcome back to the 25-26 school year. So good to see so many of you back as we prepare for another exciting year. We're going to be covering what's new, reviewing important updates, and making sure you're equipped with everything you need for a successful year ahead. So again, thank you so much for being here and for your continued dedication. I'm so excited to make the 25-26 school year the best one yet with each of you. All right, so let's go ahead and quickly review our agenda for today. We're going to start with that mission and vision, core values, which guide everything we do here at Compass. Then we're going to go over an overview of Compass Charter Schools and our Options Learning Program. Then we're going to cover some essential tools like Scholar Compass Email, Clever, Parent Square. And then after that, I'm going to introduce you to the Learning Coach Academy. We're going to highlight some engagement opportunities for this year. And then we're going to finish off with a Q&A session to address any questions that you may still have. All right, so our mission and vision are very important to us here at Compass. All the information presented today is geared towards sticking to our scholar success, to our scholar success and sticking to our Compass mission and vision. It's really important to review these this morning. So our mission is to inspire and develop innovative, creative, self-directed learners one scholar at a time. And our vision is to create an innovative, collaborative learning environment that supports the diverse needs and goals of each scholar, nurtures a love of learning, and prepares them for future success. We also have our Arctic values of achievement, respect, teamwork, and communication. I'm sorry, guys, I am having tech glitches over here. Achievement, respect, teamwork, integrity, and communication, and that is central to all that we think, say, and do here at Compass. Okay, so who are we? So Compass is one of California's leading public charter schools, and we're so proud to serve scholars all across the state from transitional kindergarten, so TK, and kindergarten through 12th grade. You might be wondering what makes a charter school so unique. Well, a charter school is a free public school, but with more flexibility to personalize your child's education compared to a traditional public school. That said, we still follow all the state laws and public school regulations, so you get the best of both worlds here. We currently have schools in San Diego, Los Angeles, and Yolo counties, and we offer our program through independent study. Families can choose between two learning paths, our option learning program and our online learning program. And at Compass, everything we do is designed to give families a learning environment that's flexible, supportive, and tailored to meet the unique needs of every scholar. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper into our Options Learning Program, which is an independent study and personalized learning model. This program is ideal for parents who are fully committed to being actively involved in their child's daily education. It allows parents, scholars, and teachers to work together to tailor curriculum and instruction based on the scholar's unique interests and needs. As a part of this collaboration, parents and teachers work as a team to select and order curriculum in accordance with the Family Order Agreement and the Master Agreement. This ensures that the educational materials are aligned with scholars' grade level and state standards. Creating a nurturing and compelling learning environment is another key responsibility. As a learning coach, you'll provide lessons and assignments that challenge your scholar and help them thrive academically. And finally, it's important to keep the scholar's personalized learning plan up to date, revising it every learning period to ensure it reflects their current educational needs and goals. This program is all about working together to provide the best possible learning experience for your scholar. All right, so we also have the Master Agreement, or the MA. You might hear of that. We have lots of acronyms here, which you guys are a returning family, so I'm sure you're already familiar with them. That MA is a crucial document that every scholar, learning coach, and supervising teacher must sign to continue enrollment here at Compass. Before signing, it's important that the parent or legal guardian meets with the supervising teacher to review that agreement. This ensures everyone understands the terms and expectations. This is a legal document, so it needs to be signed, dated, and returned to Compass for the scholar to be actively enrolled. No scholar or learning coach will have access to the curriculum until the signed master agreement is received. It's really important to return that master agreement within the first 3 days of school. If it's not returned in time, it may result in a mandatory meeting with the superintendent and CEO or their designee to determine if it's in the scholar's best interest to continue enrollment. Remember, this is an annual requirement, so a new master agreement has to be signed for every scholar every school year. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go over the FOA and what that is. The FOA is called a Family Order Agreement. It's a really important part of how we use educational support resources. So your supervising teacher will send you the FOA form. This needs to be completed and signed before we can approve your first order with a community provider. The FOA is basically a guide that reviews your responsibilities when using educational support resources, things like ordering curriculum, supplies, lessons, and classes. It's also really important to read it thoroughly so you understand what's expected and you feel comfortable comfortable with the process. The main purpose is to make sure that everything we order supports your scholar's educational goals and aligns with Compass's standards. So once you've had a chance to review it, you can just sign and return it. You'll be all set to start using your scholar's educational support resources. And if you have any questions while you're looking it over, please don't hesitate to reach out to your supervising teacher. They are happy to walk you through it. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that into the chat for you right now in case you wanted to take a look at that. And then those of you at home, you have the slides if you're watching the recording, and you'll be able to click that and have it as well. And your supervising teacher may have already sent that to you. All right, now let's talk about the role of our learning coach, or LC, which is such an important part of our Options Learning program. And there's a full list of responsibilities in the Scholar Handbook. I want to highlight a few of the key ones for you today. First, you're going to want to attend those monthly connection meetings with your supervising teacher along with your scholar. These meetings is where we make sure everything's on track and give you the support that you need. And we love seeing your faces, so please make sure that your cameras and mics are on and that your scholar's there. You bring something to share. It really is the highlight of our day. Also, next, you're going to want to make sure you submit your curriculum orders on time following that family order agreement. And this helps ensure your scholar has the materials they need without any delays. You're also going to need to complete and sign those daily activity logs. This is a huge part of how we track your scholar's learning and meet our state requirements. Also, regular communication is key. Check in with your supervising teacher and school staff often and make sure to respond quickly if they reach out. Along with that, please check your email and phone messages each day. That's how you're going to receive important updates, things like attendance reminders, Monday morning updates, parent square messages, and all of our newsletters. Another important responsibility is making sure scholar assignments are submitted on time each learning period. This is how we track progress and ensure that our standards are being met. We also ask you to support your scholar with STAR assessments, which are given 3 times a year. This helps us measure progress and know where extra support might be needed. And finally, make sure your scholar is working daily, Monday through Friday, for about 4 to 6 hours a day. This consistency is so important for academic success. For all the details and more guidance, you can always check out that Options Program Scholar Handbook, and it is in there for you in the chat if you're curious, and it's a great read if you want to go through it. And then we also have the change of contact form in there. So if you ever change your email address, where you live, any contact information, we do need to make sure that we have that change of contact form filled out so we can fill it out in our system and change that over. Super important. All right, now let's go over what's expected for our scholars so they can be successful here at Compass. So first, our scholars need to complete and submit all assigned work by their supervising teacher's due date. At the very latest, everything must be turned in by the end of the learning period. Staying on top of assignments is so important for keeping pace. We also ask that scholars follow our Compass Arctic values. Those are the values that guide how we treat one another and approach learning in our community. Communication is key. Scholars should reach out proactively to Compass staff anytime they need support, whether it's with assignments, technology, or something else. Scholars are also expected to participate in all required assessments and testing. This includes internal benchmark assessments, as well as state assessments such as STAR, CAST, LPAC, PFT, SABRS, and the K2 Dyslexia Screener if it applies to their grade level. Each month, scholars should attend their connection meeting with their ST, and it's important to come prepared to talk about their learning and progress. In addition, scholars must attend all scheduled live sessions with Compass staff. These synchronous lessons are a chance for real-time interaction and support. Day-to-day, scholars are expected to be actively engaged in their learning Monday through Friday. Since this is an independent study program, there's a minimum requirement of 4 hours per day of academic work. And just a reminder, if a scholar doesn't meet the responsibilities or misses required sessions, we'll step in with our tiered re-engagement process to provide extra support and get them right back on track. So let's talk about attendance and assignments and work here at Compass, since these really are the important things for keeping scholars on track. Attendance is tracked a little differently than a traditional school. We're not a typical teacher where we're taking roll and seeing them sitting at their seats. So it's recorded through those daily activity logs in School Pathways, our student information system. These logs are required to be updated every single day and then signed once each learning period. So you as the learning coach, you'll be the one completing the activity log through the School Pathways parent portal. It's really important to log the schoolwork correctly each day, Monday through Friday. And speaking of schoolwork, scholars are expected to do academic activities every school day. That could be online course sessions, outside classes, lessons at home, field trips, or other educational activities. Whatever the activity, it should be recorded in the daily activity log so we have a full picture of what your scholars learning. Assignments should also be uploaded weekly. If all the work isn't turned in by the end of the learning period, it could trigger a scholar engagement evaluation, and we definitely want to avoid that. Just a quick note, not every class requires daily work. Instead, the goal is for scholars to complete the work needed for every standard that the supervising teacher assigns. By staying on top of these steps, daily logs, consistent schoolwork, and timely assignment uploads, we're able to keep accurate records and, most importantly, give scholars the support they need to succeed. All right, now let's talk about school pathways, one of the most important tools you'll use to access courses and stay connected here at Compass. There's going to be two different logins, one for learning coaches and one for our scholars. So learning coaches, you'll log in using the same email address you used when you enrolled and the password you set at that time. To scholars, to get started, you're going to click that forgot your username and password on the login screen, and then you're going to enter your Compass issued email address, and from there, you'll get an email that allows you to create a password for your school pathways account. It's really that simple. And then once you're logged in, you'll have everything you need to keep track of assignments, progress, and communication. So let's chat about school pathways. This is really the hub for so much of what you and your scholar are going to do here at Compass. So through school pathways, you'll stay connected with teachers and school staff so everyone's on the same page. You're also going to find really important school information there, which is why I recommend checking it regularly. It's also how we handle attendance. Scholars will mark their daily attendance in school pathways. And at the end of each learning period, learning coaches will sign the activity logs there too. This is how we officially track progress and keep everything on record. So quick tip, bookmark school pathways on your computer or device. That way you can pop in easily whenever you need to. And just make sure you're logging into the correct district, whether it be Los Angeles, San Diego, or YOLO. Think of school pathways as your one-stop shop for keeping everything organized and running smoothly throughout the school year. And then on here and also in the chat, so there's that take daily attendance link, and then that gives you a quick step-by-step guide of how you take attendance daily. But you guys are returning families, so you should be pros at this by now. And then also signing activity logs at the end of the learning period. If you're like me and you need a refresher, you do it every month and you're like, wait, what did I do again? That's a great one to bookmark as well, to have those just as reminders of directions of how to get that done. Okay, so let's take a look at Seesaw, which I'm going to say this, which some of our supervising teachers may choose to use. So first, it's important to know that Seesaw is the teacher's choice. If your TK through 8 supervising teacher decides to use Seesaw, then you and your scholar will be expected to fully engage with it. If your supervising teacher does not use Seesaw, you'll be using School Pathways instead. And for all high school scholars, the default is School Pathways, which I'll cover in a couple slides. So what makes Seesaw so special? So it's very scholar driven. Scholars and learning coaches can upload photos, videos, or written work, which creates a digital portfolio showing both completed assignments and work in progress. It's a wonderful way to capture growth over time. Teachers can also use Seesaw's activity library to assign tasks. Scholars then submit their responses independently, which really encourages self-directed learning and gives the supervising teacher a clear picture of how the scholar is engaging with the material. One feature families really love is the option for voice or video explanation, so scholars can record themselves explaining their work, which not only helps bring their learning to life, but also gives their supervising teacher a deeper understanding of their thought process. This is especially great for our younger scholars or for kids who express themselves better verbally. The platform also creates a strong feedback loop, so our supervising teachers can provide personalized feedback, either in writing or an audio message, which makes it feel like a two-way conversation. They can also use it to track progress over time and make sure scholars are staying on track. And then lastly, but definitely not least, Seesaw allows for flexible submission. So with the app, scholars can upload assignments from home, even on an approved service provider, which fits beautifully with the self-paced nature of independent study. So if your supervising teacher uses Seesaw, think of it as a flexible, interactive space where your scholars' learning can really shine. I used to love using Seesaw when I was a supervising teacher because I loved getting videos of my scholars playing their instruments or reading, and it was just a lot of fun. It was interactive and we can have conversations back and forth. So if you get Seesaw, you are so lucky that you get to use it and have that special connection with your supervising teacher. If your supervising teacher is not using Seesaw, or if your scholar is in high school, then assignments are going to be submitted through the Scholar Portal in School Pathways. So here's how that looks for you. So you're going to log into that Scholar Portal using the link for your county. Remember, there's 3, LA, San Diego, YOLO. If you can't log in for some reason, you might be in the wrong county. And then from there, you're going to click on Classes, and then you'll click Assignments and Grades. Just make sure your scholar's master agreement has been signed and accepted. That's what unlocks their classes and assignments. So even if you've signed that master agreement, it hasn't been accepted, you're still not going to be able to do this. You have to have a master agreement fully signed and accepted, and then you'll be able to see all of this information. And then from there, you'll be able to click on View Assignments for the specific course. You can adjust the class and the scholar school period, or even filter for incomplete assignments. And if you'd like, you can use the Google Translate right there at the very top to view the page in your preferred language. Prepare your file before uploading. It should be in a PDF or JPEG format. PDF is preferred. You can use the naming convention, scholar last name, first name, underscore subject, underscore the LP number. And this also is a guide you can use if you need help converting a file into a PDF we have for you. And then when you're ready, you just click turn in into the next correct assignment, and then you'll select your file and you'll submit it. And if it worked, you'll see a little green message that confirms your submission. After your teacher reviews the assignment, you'll be able to see the grade and percentage earned right in the portal. You can also send your supervising teacher a message directly about that assignment or read any messages that they've sent you. Okay, now that was a lot, and you're probably like, well, I'm never going to remember this, but that's okay. We have a step-by-step tutorial with images that walk you through this process. That's also in the chat for you, and it's linked right here at the bottom of the slides. We also have a super helpful video. I think it's like a minute and a half where we show you how to do it from your mobile device. And if you want a more in-depth on-demand training of this, we did host live sessions of this last year, and we have recordings of it that go through it step by step. If you're interested in that, you can always reach out to me or your supervising teacher, and we can go ahead and get you that recording and all of the information you need to get that going. And then here's one of our grading rubrics, specifically our TK through 5th grade one. So at Compass, we use grading rubrics to evaluate our scholar work. There is specific criteria for our supervising teachers to use for assigning marks and grades and determining proficiency. So your supervising teacher will share with you your scholar's grade level specific grading rubric. It's just kind of like a heads up there. Okay, so let's take a moment to talk about the minimum instructional minutes required each day for independent study here in California. So these requirements are set by the state and they do vary by grade level. So for kindergarten, the minimum is 200 minutes a day. For grades 1 through 3, it bumps up to 280 minutes a day. In grades 4 through 8, scholars need at least 300 minutes daily. And for our high school scholars, the requirement is 360 minutes each day. These guidelines are in place to make sure all scholars in independent study are getting the right amount of instructional time to match California's educational standards. It's really helpful to keep these numbers in mind as you plan your scholars' daily schedule, since the requirements will look a little different depending on those grade levels. You've heard me mention supervising teacher a lot here, ST. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at who they are and what they do here at Compass. So every scholar at Compass is assigned a credentialed supervising teacher, and they really are such a vital part of your scholar's journey. So think of them as your family's main point of contact. First, your first stop anything is going to be with your supervising teacher. So your ST is going to handle ordering curriculum, managing assignments, tracking attendance. And once your enrollment is finalized and your scholar has been assigned an ST, you'll hear for them. So you're going to go over that master agreement with your supervising teacher to verify your contact information. And then they're also going to send that agreement out for signatures. After that's all squared away, your ST will schedule your very first connection meeting. In that meeting, you'll talk through your scholar's scope and sequence. You're going to set up your assignments for the learning period. You're going to review all the essentials for starting the school year. That includes things like attendance expectations, how to use Seesaw, connection meeting requirements, the family order agreement, benchmark assessments, and of course, your curriculum choices. Your supervising teacher also acts as a liaison between departments, helping make sure your scholar gets any additional support or services they may need. So really, your ST is going to be your go-to support system. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to them with questions or concerns. They're here to help you and your scholar have a smooth, successful year. So now let's go over those connection meeting requirements. So for connection meetings, scholars and learning coaches have to connect with their supervising teacher at least once every 27 school days. While this is the minimum requirement, many families find it beneficial to connect more frequently. These meetings are an opportunity for live collaboration. We prefer video conferencing with cameras on to create a face-to-face interaction. However, any live visual or audio connection is acceptable. We recommend that families and STs collaborate to set connection dates for the year and maintain that schedule. This helps keep everyone organized and ensures that the minimum connection meeting requirements have been met. During those connection meetings, you're going to work with your supervising teacher to determine your scholar's scope and sequence. Your ST will assign your scholar's assignments for the learning period. There's going to be ongoing collaboration between the scholar, learning coach, and teacher on course standards and progress. Your ST is also going to formally and informally assess your scholar's academic progress. They're also going to approve the submitted activity logs. And they may also discuss the body of work for the month and plan for the next. Connection meetings are meant to be engaging and fun. We encourage scholars to participate actively by showing their ST all the amazing things that they've been working on at home. It's a really great opportunity for scholars to jump on the mic and camera, share their accomplishments. By maintaining regular connection meetings, we ensure that our scholars are progressing well and receiving the support that they need. It also keeps the learning coaches and STs aligned and working together to provide the best educational experience for our scholar. Okay, now let's talk about live synchronous instruction or live sync. This comes from AB 167, and this was a law that grew out of COVID, and it still greatly impacts independent study in charter schools like ours. So the purpose of AB 167 was to make sure scholars in non-classroom settings have the same access, equity, and accountability as those in traditional schools. So here's what that means for us here at Compass. So scholars in TK through 3 must have daily opportunities for live interaction. In grades 4 through 8, scholars need daily live interaction and at least weekly live synchronous instruction. For grades 9 through 12, it's at least once a week. Attendance for these sessions is required, and just like in a regular class, we monitor it. If a scholar attends less than 50% of their required sessions, it's going to lead to a tiered re-engagement meeting so we can provide additional support. And just a quick note, if your scholar is receiving support through an approved outside vendor, that's absolutely fine, but they're still going to need to check in regularly with a Compass staff member to meet that requirement. Now, I know schedules can sometimes get tricky, and so let's talk about what happens if you just can't make it to that scheduled live sync. Because live sync is a requirement for non-classroom based charter schools, we do need regular check-ins to ensure that our scholars are supported. So here are some options if the usual time doesn't work for you. First one up, you can just attend the minimum time required to meet the standard. Next one is you might be able to join a different live sync session so your ST can help coordinate that. So if your current supervising teacher's time does not work for you, maybe you'll be able to find another team where their time does. So reach out to your supervising teacher and see if there's another time that works with your schedule that's offered and available. Some families find it easiest to simply adjust their schedule to fit the live sync in it. And if none of those work, you'll need to provide weekly updates to your supervising teacher about what your scholar is working on. And if we still can't make it work, you'll attend a Tier 2 re-engagement meeting to come up with a plan that ensures your scholar gets the required engagement. These live sync sessions are flexible too, so they can be reading groups, office hours, special project groups, SEL or community groups, and more. The goal is to make sure that every scholar has meaningful opportunities to connect and grow. Our options learning program truancy policy requires scholars to submit 5 assignments every 27 school days. According to the Compass Board policy, an assignment includes a variety of activities like traditional schoolwork, completion of learning logs or PE logs, participation in synchronous instruction, live interaction, and attendance at required meetings with your supervising teacher and other school staff. To ensure compliance with this assignment policy, we monitor several indicators. So if a scholar does not have an assignment for 2 or more school days during the school week, this will result in a truancy notification and could lead to an independent study evaluation. It's really important to meet these requirements to avoid any issues and ensure your scholar continues to progress successfully. So let's talk about our process for tiered re-engagement, which is explained in the master agreement. So really, it all comes down to one big question. Is your scholar engaged and making progress? So how do we track that in independent study program? The main way is through assignments. So per state law, specifically Education Code 51747, scholars have 27 school days to complete assignments once they're given. This applies across all grade levels here at Compass, and it helps keep everyone moving forward on pace. Now, there are a couple of triggers that tell us we need to step in and review whether independent study is working for a scholar. The first is if they missed 5 assignments in that 27-day window. The second is if their overall progress dips below satisfactory levels. If either of those happen, our superintendent or their designee, usually our director, will evaluate what's going on and how best to support that scholar. So what does satisfactory progress actually mean? It's not just one measure. We look at a combination of things. This includes achievement and engagement as laid out in that Ed Code 52060. We check whether assignments and assessments are being completed, if the scholars consistently engage, so no gaps of 5 or more days without work in a 27-day period, whether they're mastering those key concepts, and if they're making steady progress towards finishing their courses. On top of that, we also look at some additional factors. This includes results from diagnostic assessments, which we give 3 times a year, semester grades, insights from monthly connection meetings, and for scholars in special education, attendance in their required services. This helps us see the full picture. If an evaluation happens, we'll document our findings in writing, and this becomes part of what's called a mandatory interim pupil record. We keep this record for 3 years, and if your scholar ever transfers to another California public school, that record follows them to ensure continuity and support. So that's the tiered re-engagement process in a very small nutshell. The goal is not to punish. It's really here to make sure your scholar is supported, engaged, and set up for success. And of course, if you ever have any questions or you want to talk about your scholar's progress, your supervising teacher is always there to help. Now let's talk about curriculum, because this is really the tool that helps your scholar build the knowledge and skills they need to move to the next level. And you won't be making these choices alone. Your supervising teacher is going to walk you through the process. They might ask you questions like, how much time do you usually spend working one-on-one with your scholar? What motivates your scholar? What are their goals? And how do they learn best? Your ST knows the curriculum options inside and out. They'll help you pick what's best fit for your scholar. To make things even easier, we provide a TK through 12 supplies list and an approved curriculum list. You and your supervising teacher will review these together and find the materials that best support your scholar's learning. When it comes to ordering, everything runs through our family order agreement and the educational support guidelines. And here's another important point. Your first orders and at least 25% of your scholar's overall orders must go toward grade level core subjects like English, math, science, and social studies. You're going to place orders through the OPS system. You'll receive your login information by email once your master agreement has been signed and approved. Most of you, since we're returning, should have your login information. It should be the same, but if we have any new families in here, you will get an email with that information. And just remember, all orders need to match the courses listed on your master agreement. Once you receive your materials, please snap a quick picture of the signed packing slip and send it to your ST within 2 days. This confirms that everything arrived correctly. And if we don't get that packing slip back, future orders may have to be shipped to the nearest Compass teacher for pickup, which we definitely want to avoid. And one last tip, make sure your shipping address is in our system current. We can't ship to PO boxes, and using the wrong address can cause big delays. So please make sure everything is up to date. And if you have any questions at all during the process, your supervising teacher is there to support you. And also in the chat, you have that FOA and then the educational support guidelines. And then, very fun and new this year, there's placing an order in OPS. There is a little job guide from our wonderful community providers department that they shared with us that you can check out how to place an order. Okay, for our high school scholars, we offer A through G approved courses through Accelerate Education. So scholars are able to take up to 4 core A through G courses through Accelerate using their resources plus Avid if they choose. Every high schooler scholar is paired with a dedicated high school supervising teacher who will support them throughout the year. High school families and scholars will work directly with their supervising teacher for guidance and questions. When it comes to turning in assignments, high school scholars will now submit their work directly in the gradebook in the Parent Scholar Portal. No more seesaw for our high school submissions. And then we're going to go ahead and get a little bit more into high school here. High school scholars also will be enrolled in specific courses with the high school content teacher. This teacher may be different from your scholar supervising teacher, and that's totally normal. The content teacher is responsible for assigning standards and guiding scholars through what they need to work on each learning period, helping them master all the required standards throughout the year. Our teachers work closely behind the scenes to make sure every scholar gets the support they need to reach their goals and feel successful. If you ever have any questions, you're welcome to reach out directly to your scholar supervising teacher or to Janae Smith, our director of online K-8 and our Compass High School. And then her email should be on there. It should be J Smith. It looks like it got cut off there, and I'm going to pop it in the chat just for those of you that are here with me. Perfect. Thank you. J Smith at compasscharters.org. Okay, so let's go over how to get your Compass account set up so you and your scholar are ready for the school year. So you should have already received a welcome email from our IT team. You guys are returning. You will have the same exact login as you did last year, but new families, you should be getting that welcome email with step-by-step directions. And if you have not yet, it'll be arriving very soon. That email is going to walk you through everything, and it's a great resource to keep handy. First step, you got to set up your Clever account. Clever is the hub for everything. It's how you're going to get into your scholars' courses, their apps, and even their school email. You'll use your scholar's Compass Gmail address, the password you set, and a quick security step called multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Once Clever is set up, your scholar will use it to check their Compass Gmail, and this is really important. Teachers and staff send updates, assignments, and reminders there, so it's best to check it every single day. You'll also notice an email from Zoom from the Compass Gmail account. To activate your Zoom account, you just want to click that button and then choose the Google sign-in option and then select your Compass Gmail address, and then you'll be ready for live sessions. For course access, you can either go right through Clever, you can log into School Pathways or the Parent Scholar Portal if you were using Accelerate Education there. And if it's your first time in School Pathways, you're going to have to click that forgot username password and then use your Compass Gmail address to set up a password. Parents, you also have a parent portal. This is where you will log daily attendance. You can check grades. I always recommend bookmarking both Clever and that parent portal to make logging in quick and easy. And if you ever run into any issues at all, just submit a help desk ticket and our IT team will be more than happy to get you set up. So just to recap, if you're new, make sure you look for that IT welcome email. Make sure you have Clever set up. Check your Compass Gmail daily. Make sure you activate your Zoom, bookmark any portals, and then reach out to IT if you ever need any help. And then very new this year, it's just added. It's not on the slide, but it is in the chat, and I want to highlight it. It's the Compass New School Year Technologies Checklist. And so that came from our IT team. That is a super helpful resource to go through to make sure you are all set up and go. So please, please, please make sure you click on that, check it out. And if you have any questions or you can't log in or anything tech-wise comes up, that help desk ticket is going to be your lifeline there. Okay, so moving forward, Compass will be strictly enforcing our single sign-on policy for Zoom sessions. This means all scholars must use their school-issued Gmail account to log in for classes and meetings with teachers and Compass support staff. To make sure you can join your sessions, always log in with your scholars.compasscharters.org email. If you try to use a different email, you may not be able to get into your Zoom classes. If you run into any trouble signing into your school-issued email account, please don't wait. Submit a help desk ticket right away, and one of our technicians will be happy to help. You can submit a ticket using that CCS help desk ticket link. And if you ever have any difficulty joining a Zoom session, even when you're using your Scholar email, just place a help desk ticket and we'll assist you as quickly as possible. And then by following these steps, we can make sure all scholars have a smooth, secure experience in their online classes and meetings. And I'll say help desk, it's fantastic. Parents, you can loop people in, we can have teachers on it. You could do it from your personal email. If you can't get into your Scholar email, it has become super user-friendly, and our IT technicians are fantastic. So if you ever have any issues, please make sure you use that on there. Okay, so let's talk about benchmark testing. And I did get a question here about assessment, so it's probably going to be answered here. These are STAR assessments, and let's talk about why these are so important for our scholars. So STAR is the tool we use to measure proficiency in math and reading. It's a computer-based test that gives quick, accurate information about where a scholar is academically. So all scholars take the STAR assessment 3 times a year, the beginning, middle, and end. This schedule helps us track growth over time and see where extra support might be needed. When a scholar first enrolls, they're going to take STAR to establish a baseline so we know exactly where they're starting from. And as the year goes on, these follow up. We have 2 additional assessments that give us a clear picture of both progress and any areas that need more attention. Participation is required for all scholars. This is part of our master agreement, since it's a key part of determining satisfactory progress. By completing these assessments, scholars help us to gather the data we need to adjust instruction, celebrate growth, and make sure they're on the right track with their learning goals. And our assessment team, you're going to see this again in our assessment open house, but our assessment team created this fabulous slide that I'm sharing with you. This is our assessment map with all of our assessments. So we mapped this out with the goal of keeping the assessments from overlapping to prevent any assessment stacking toward the end of the year and hopefully avoid that assessment fatigue. Sometimes it is too much testing. So we have our fall STAR window that starts the first day of school and continues until September 19th. We also have My Savers, which will be given to scholars, and that'll begin on October 6th to October 24th. And then we have our Winter STAR window, which begins December 1st and ends December 19th, right before we go on that winter break. If your scholar is an EL scholar, that state LPAC window will open up from February 1st to May 31st each school year. Our Compass LPAC window will begin March 2nd and continues to May 29th, which is the final Friday in May. We also have our new reading difficulty screener in place. That'll be February 2nd to 27th for our scholars in grades K through 12. And then CASP, yay, CASP, our end of the year state testing, that's can't talk. That's going to begin on March 16th and goes until April 3rd when we go on spring break. And then we also have some makeups that'll be coming after our spring break for 3 weeks. And then we have 3 PFT dates. PFT is not for all scholars, it's just for certain grade levels, those physical fitness tests, and they are done in person at Parks, and we love it. I love seeing scholars in person and doing that with them. Scholar signups will go out in the MMU in late January there. And then to wrap up the year, we have our Spring Star window, which begins May 18th and goes until June 5th. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's coming. You don't have to memorize any of these. All of this is going to be clearly outlined for you throughout the year, and it'll be in the MMU, and your supervising teacher will be reminding you. It's just kind of like a head start of what's to come so you can kind of pre-plan what assessments are going to be going on. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Parent Square. This is one of our favorite tools for keeping families connected and engaged with Compass. Parent Square is our main hub for communication and organization. It's where you'll find all the important updates and announcements and information you need in one easy place. When you first enroll, you'll get an invitation email to join Parent Square. That email will have a link to activate your account. As soon as you get it, be sure to click through it and make sure you set everything up so you don't miss anything. Once you're in, you're going to want to check Parent Square regularly. One of the biggest things to look for is our Monday morning update, or MMU. It goes out every Monday with important news and reminders. There's also built-in Compass events calendars where you can see upcoming dates and activities, so it's easy to stay on top of what's happening. And a great feature, you can customize how you get notifications. So whether you prefer text, emails, or app notifications, you can set it up in a way that works best for your family. Using Parent Square is a really great way to stay in the loop, stay organized, and make sure you're always up to date with everything that we got going on at Compass here. I'm so excited to share about our Learning Coach Academy, or LCA. It's a wonderful way for our learning coaches to get support, connect with others, and learn new tips for helping their scholars thrive. We meet every Monday at 1 p.m. for live LCA sessions. These are designed just for learning coaches to cover a mix of information and connection. In our information sessions, we'll share helpful strategies, insights, and resources to make your role as a learning coach easier and more effective. We also have social sessions where you can connect with other learning coaches, swap experiences, and be a part of a supportive community that really understands the journey that you're on. And a fun little bonus, by participating, you can earn a certificate and a special fancy Learning Coach Academy member only mug to celebrate your commitment and participation in the program. So if you'd like to join us, and I really hope that you do, just use the registration link right there in the chat. It's a great opportunity to learn, connect, and be a part of our Learning Coach community. Our engagement department is all about creating fun and meaningful opportunities for our scholars, and honestly, there's something for everyone. Throughout the year, we organize field trips and special events that give scholars hands-on learning experience and a chance to connect with their peers in person. We also offer a variety of scholar clubs for all kinds of interests. So whether your scholar loves art, science, books, or something else, clubs are a wonderful way to explore passions and make new friends. If your family prefers online activities, we've got you covered too. We host virtual workshops on all sorts of topics to build new skills and keep learning exciting. And one of our favorite traditions is our back to school park day. It's such a fun way to kick off the year, meet other Compass families, and just enjoy a day together in that sunshine. We also make sure to celebrate our scholars every step of the way with the scholar recognition programs and big end of year celebrations where we can look back and cheer on all the hard work and growth. And of course, can't forget about Learning Coach Academy, where learning coaches get live sessions, helpful resources, and even some social time to connect with one another. Plus, we host our weeks of welcome, not just at the start of the year, but we also do it again at the second semester. So families always have a chance to get reacquainted with our programs and our resources. And in a moment, she put it on there, the engagement section of the website. Very good. You can explore all the amazing opportunities available for your scholar right there on the Compass website and see all the things that we offer. And before we wrap up, I want to share a quick update about the Options Learning Digital Welcome Packet. The Welcome Packet will be ready for our families on August 25th. I'm counting the days and the minutes, so in 5 days, please stay tuned. In the meantime, I have a handy link for you. This link is going to be updated daily during the weeks of welcome. And once the welcome packets are ready to go, you're going to find them on there too. So I highly recommend saving this link. You'll be able to access all the essentials to help you kick off the school year strong, including checklists and helpful resources. So again, keep this link close by. This is going to be your go-to for a smooth start to the school year and to support you all year long. So when you click on that WOW recordings and slides, like I said, around 5 p.m. every day, the recordings from the day will be on there as well as the slides. And at the very top of that screen, there's going to be a little link that says resources. If you click that resources link, it's going to bring up a page of different links that are important for you. And at the bottom of that, you'll see the welcome packets. And as soon as those are active and live, they will be linked there for you. So you can go ahead and take a look. Let's take a moment to look at our WOW schedule together. The first week's all about building excitement and connection. We've had our welcome back events. You're currently in our orientations, and then we have some special open houses hosted by our departments and programs. These are wonderful opportunities for our families to meet staff, ask questions, and feel truly welcome back into our Compass community. Then we head into week 2. We focus on giving our families the tools they need for a strong start. So we also have our assessment, scholar success, and EL departments. They've prepared some fantastic sessions designed to help with helpful information and resources. The goal is to make sure every scholar feels supported and ready to shine as we begin this new school year. As we wrap up today's presentation, I just want to take a moment to thank you for joining me. It truly means so much that you took time out of your day to be here and to learn more about our program. My name is Christina Burt. You can find my contact information right there on the slide. Please know that my door or my inbox is always open. If you have questions, need support, or just want to check in, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm so excited for this school year. I can't wait to see all the wonderful things your scholars are going to accomplish. We're going to make this year truly remarkable. Thank you again for your time, your energy, and your commitment to your scholars' education. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to working with you this year. Thank you.